What's up, everybody? Justin here to do a new countdown video. If you hear some noise outside, I got my window open for air. Because tonight's pretty nice out. It's like 61 degrees. But you're not watching this video to hear the weather report, and I'm not a damn weatherman. So if you hear some noise, it's neighbors across the street. They're having a party. Just ignore their noise. And they got little kids outside. And it's like 11 p.m. They should be asleep. Anyways, top 10. This is a new countdown. Top 10, my top 10 feuds in wrestling. Top 10 feuds ever that I've ever seen. And my absolute favorite top 10 feuds in wrestling. Some of these feuds are from NWA, WCW, ECW, and of course the WWF, and nothing really under WWE's umbrella yet. But as of excuse me, I have to cough. So, top 10 countdown, new countdown, top 10 feuds in wrestling. Number 10. Very good one. One of my favorites. Sting, Ric Flair, from the NWA, carried over into WCW. They feuded for well over a decade. They had their first matchup in 1988 before the first Clash of Champions. They had their first match on TV. It was pretty good. Then, of course, Sting, Ric Flair in the main event of the very first Clash of Champions. It was epic. And Ric Flair kind of made Sting a big star that night. And just got the crowd more behind Sting as one of the top baby faces of the company, and eventually Sting would become the franchise of WCW. So my number 10 best feud in wrestling, number 10 would be Sting and Ric Flair. That could very well have been number 5. But number 5, I have Ric Flair in another feud I really enjoyed. So number 10 is Ric Flair Sting. Number 9 of the top 10 feuds in wrestling, number 9 would be Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan. Yes, Hogan won. It is true, Hogan won a ton of the matches that were on TV, pay-per-view, house shows, home video releases that were taped exclusively for Coliseum home video, stuff like that. Hogan won probably 90% of their matches, but big deal. I thought it was still a very good feud. Macho Man, Hulk Hogan were major names in WWF, were bigger than life characters, and them feuding I thought was very entertaining. They main evented WrestleMania 5, had a very good match. Macho Man came ahead in that one. And then many other matches. Mostly in WCW, Hogan put himself over Macho Man. But the one time on pay-per-view at WrestleMania 5, Macho Man did go over. I don't know how many matches they had. Some ended in DQs, countouts, especially in the late 80s at like Madison Square Garden. They had a lumberjack match. Then like 1 or 2 months later, I think in 1985 or 86, they had a couple matches at Madison Square Garden. Then they had a match at Boston Garden in 86. And they were good matches. They were televised on Madison Square Garden Network, and the Boston Garden was I believe televised on New England Sports Network. And those matches did appear and were shown on WWE Classics on demand. I do have those matches actually on DVD because I record them on a DVD. So Macho Man Hogan have always had great chemistry together and they had good matches together. I just wish they would put on the WWE Network, I wish they'd put more Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan matches from the 80s and from house shows, like put more old school shows so we could see those matches on the network. Number 8. Excuse me. Number 8. Top 10 feuds in wrestling. Number 8 would be Macho Man Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Very good feud. It wasn't very long. The build-up was very good to WrestleMania 3, where Macho Man came down off the top rope with a ring bell on the back of, or on the throat of Ricky Steamboat. Came down with the bell. Of course, he didn't really crush. He didn't crush his throat, or whatever that is called in your throat. He didn't crush his bone in his throat. But a lot of fans believed he did injure Ricky Steamboat. And I was a very little kid. I was like 3 years old at the time. So what Macho Man did, and what a lot of... I didn't know wrestling wasn't really... I didn't know it was a work until like I was 6 or 7 years old. And when I found out it was a work, I didn't give a rat's ass because I still watch all the time to this day, and I'm 33 years old. So, I mean, movies are work, TV shows are work, they're scripted, movies are scripted. I could care less. Wrestling scripted. I will still and always be a fan of it. So Macho Man crushes his throat with the ring bell. That was great build-up because Ricky Steamboat, they tried to interview him. He couldn't speak. He tried to talk. He tried to cut a promo on Macho Man before WrestleMania 3, but he couldn't speak because he's selling his injury. He was really selling it. He was trying to be interviewed, cut a promo. He was like saying, I'll just cut a promo, for example. He's going, Macho Man. And then his voice would get weaker and weaker. He'd go, Macho Man, at WrestleMania 3, I'm gonna get you. And he could barely speak. It was great storyline. Great build-up. So that's why it's one of my favorite feuds, because their WrestleMania 3 match was epic, and the build-up was damn good, with Macho Man crushing his throat with the ring bell coming off the top rope. And Steamboat, he sold it. He sold it like he was dying. He was carried on a stretcher, and he sold it like he was dying. He was holding his throat, shaking his arms. I think he might even fell off the stretcher. So then, number 7 of this top 10 feuds in wrestling. Number 7 again includes Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. One of the best feuds of the 80s. Great feud. Both guys were larger than life. It was a great feud. It was great build-up. Andre the Giant, they said, was undefeated for 15 years. And he was challenging Hogan for the WWF Championship, WrestleMania 3 main event. I'm sure a lot of people, even Hogan fans, probably thought Andre was going to win. But Hogan did the impossible. The guy picked up Andre, body slamming. Hogan tries to tell stories, probably still this day, saying Andre was 600 pounds when he picked him up. I don't think he was 600. He's probably like 450. But he's probably about 450. He looked like he's about 450. So anyways, Hogan picks up Andre somehow. I don't know how he did it. Probably the adrenaline rushing through his body from being so hype, from hearing the crowd. So he body slams Andre, he hits a leg drop. 1, 2, 3, Hogan retains. Epic, legendary. I loved that WrestleMania 3 moment. Great moment, will live forever in WWE history. And is one of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time, in my opinion. Hogan body slamming Andre and then defeating him. So my favorite feud, number 7, is Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. Their feud would go on to Survivor Series 87. Their feud would go on to an episode of The Main Event in February 88. Then they had a match at WrestleMania 4. A WrestleMania rematch. It was no good. But they had to do a double DQ finish so Ted DiBiase could get the bye. And then matches after that. I think, as far as I remember, their final match, that was a big match, was in July 88 in Milwaukee at the Brewers Stadium, where they had a WrestleFest 88, and Andre and Hogan had a match in a steel cage for the WWF Championship. Of course, Hogan went over. But I believe that was our final one-on-one matchup. Was in July 88 at WrestleFest in a steel cage. Number 6, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. One of the greatest feuds in WWE history. One of the best. Just so damn good because Stone Cold Steve Austin, especially in 1999, the guy's in his prime. The guy was super over. And The Rock is a heel. The Rock was a perfect opponent for Stone Cold at that time. Both guys were in their prime. Both guys were absolutely in their prime at cutting promos. And the stupid kids yelling across the street. That's annoying as fuck. I hate kids. I really do. So, back to my countdown of top 10 feuds in wrestling. Stone Cold, The Rock, number 6. They main evented 3 WrestleManias. And they had epic matches on other shows like, Backlash. Backlash 99, they had a good main event. Number 5. Now we're getting to the top 5 of this top 10 feuds in wrestling. Number 5 would be Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Great feud. And both of the guys, their characters, they couldn't be any more different. Ricky Steamboat had dark black hair. He was a family man. Ric Flair was flamboyant. He was a kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing, limousine-riding, jet-flying son of a gun. He had every pay-per-view, he'd have 10, 20 women come down to ringside with him. So Ric Flair was a nature boy. The guy was the ultimate world champion and the ultimate heel, taking on one of the ultimate baby faces. It was great. And their chemistry was off the chart. Their chemistry wasn't just a perfect 10. Their chemistry was like a 100. It was that damn good. The matches were that damn good. Chi-Town Rumble, 89, their first pay-per-view match. Damn good. Ricky Steamboat won the NWA title for the first time. That was a great moment because Ricky Steamboat was that damn good. He deserved to be a world champion. And then their second big match was at Clash of Champions, I think 7. Clash of Champions 7 in April 89. I don't know the exact date. I think it's April 6th or something like that. April 6th or 7th. It was April 89, Clash of Champions. They had 2 out of 3 falls match. The thing is, I don't know if it's 2 out of 3 falls. I think it was, but whatever. They went 55 minutes. It was fantastic. It was That's one of my favorite Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat matches. That's my favorite one from Clash of Champions 7. Then they go to Wrestle War 89, had a epic pay-per-view main event match. Ric Flair won the title back from Ricky Steamboat. Then they had another great match. Their final match was at Spring Stampede 94. That was a great main event. And even in 94, they still had great chemistry, and they were still both in great shape and in their primes. Sadly, Ricky Steamboat, after that pay-per-view, he wouldn't work that much more. I think his final pay-per-view was Bash at the Beach, 94. Ricky Steamboat was supposed to defend the U.S. title, I believe, or get a U.S. title shot at Fall Brawl 94, but he couldn't compete because of a back injury. So number 4, favorite feud, top 10 feud in wrestling. Number 4 would be Undertaker Mankind. Legendary feud. They had great matches before their King of the Ring 98 Hell in a Cell match. They had really good matches before that. They had a great feud. It went on for like 2.5 years, and it was damn good. Number 3, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. I really enjoyed their feud, especially in 2003 when they had most of their matches together. They had great build-up, told a great story at WrestleMania 19. Great build-up and a great main event match. Brock almost killed himself doing a shooting star press. He could have killed himself. I'm glad he didn't. And Kurt Angle had a really bad neck. The guy needed neck surgery, but he still competed at WrestleMania 19 to put Brock over. And then, they had great matches at Vengeance. I think it was a triple threat at Vengeance 2003. I think it was Big Show, Brock, Kurt Angle. They had a good triple threat. Main event on September 2003 SmackDown episode. They main evented SmackDown in a 1-hour Iron Man match. That was damn good. I gotta watch that Iron Man match back someday on the network because I forgot a lot of it. And they had another match at SummerSlam 2003 that was damn good. So, number 3 is Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. They're number 3 because their matches were great. They're both in their prime. They're both fantastic, great amateur wrestlers. Brock, NCAA wrestling, amateur wrestling champ for the University of Minnesota. And Brock probably, if Brock would have went into the Olympics, if he would have made the Olympics, I think Brock could have probably won a gold medal. He was that damn good as an amateur. Kurt Angle, one of the best of all time, Olympic gold medalist. And coming from outside of pro wrestling, Kurt Angle, one of the most naturally gifted pro wrestlers ever, coming from an outside world like amateur wrestling. Ken Shamrock, he was also very good, coming from an outside sport like mixed martial arts. Ken Shamrock picked up pro wrestling just really good, like he was a natural at it. Kurt Angle did the same. But Kurt Angle, one of the most naturally gifted, great athletes I've ever seen come into pro wrestling from amateur wrestling. Number 2, best feud in wrestling of this top 10. Number 2 would be Sting against the NWO. Sting fighting the New World Order. It was damn good. It was great television. It was great episodes of Nitro every single week. I would say from when Sting cut his final promo, I think is October 96, when he cut his final promo, said Sting is a free agent, something like that, and then he put the microphone down. And he said WCW turned their back on me, stuff like that. I'm a free agent, and put the mic down, and he didn't speak again for well over a year. Well over a year. He wouldn't talk. So the build-up, I'm talking about every single week. Nitro from like, I would say June, July, 96 until probably 1999. Nitro was damn good every week. It was pretty damn good every single week. And Sting fighting the NWO to build up to Starrcade 97, that was damn good stuff. So number 2, in my opinion, the best feud in wrestling. Number 2 would be Sting versus NWO. Now, I'm not talking about Sting when he was part of the Wolfpack. No. In the red and black, where he put on red and black paint. I'm talking about the white and black Crow Sting that was fighting the NWO, building up to Starrcade 97. That's what feud I'm talking about. That was great. Great TV on Nitros every week. Even pay-per-views were damn good. I remember Uncensored 97. Sting made an appearance during the main event, or at the end of the main event, where they had like a 3-team, I think 6-man tag of 3 teams of 3 guys each. I think it was Team NWO, Team WCW, Battle Royal. Sting made an appearance after it beat the crap out of the NWO with his baseball bat. It was great. And then Sting was pointing the bat at Hogan. The crowd was going insane because the crowd wanted to see Sting versus Hollywood Hogan. The match wasn't good at Starrcade 97, but big deal. It was still a great moment for WCW when Sting won the title back from Hollywood Hogan. Not back. He never lost it to him in the first place, but when Sting got the title back from the NWO and brought it over to WCW. Or brought it home to WCW. Number 1. Best feud in wrestling, in my opinion. Number 1 is from ECW. Yes. See that poster right there? I'm a big mark for ECW. I thought they were great. Number 1 feud is from ECW, Raven against Tommy Dreamer. Why? You might say why. I'll tell you why. Because Raven won every single match against Tommy Dreamer. We're talking about tag matches, single matches. Raven defeated Tommy Dreamer over 25 times on TV. And on special monthly shows they put on at the ECW arena. He defeated Tommy Dreamer for 2 years. For 2 years. 2.5 years, I think. For 2.5 years, Tommy Dreamer could not defeat Raven once. It was a great feud. The feud built Dreamer, it built Raven to become, in my opinion, major stars in pro wrestling. It helped both guys. Their feud helped each other. It put them up a level to become major players. And then the final match at WrestlePalooza 97, where Tommy Dreamer would finally defeat Raven for the first time ever, was, I believe it was a loser leaves ECW match, I think. Anyways, when Tommy Dreamer defeated Raven, then it was Raven's final match as he left to go to WCW. Because WCW offered him, I'm sure, a lot of money. They offered him a big contract. Why? Because they saw how great Raven was in his feud with Tommy Dreamer. That's why Raven got a WCW contract. And Tommy Dreamer, I'm sure he was offered a contract by Eric Bischoff, because Bischoff would offer anybody a damn contract. As Bischoff said, I think in his book, Controversy Creates Cash, and I like Bischoff. I like him to this day. But he did some stupid moves. Bischoff, as running WCW, Bischoff did a couple stupid things that really screwed them up. But not as bad as what Russo did to them. I would take Eric Bischoff any day, and every day, over Vince Russo running my show. If I had a wrestling show, or running my company over Russo, I would do better at running my own company than Russo would. Russo's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment he was ever in pro wrestling, or even employed by any companies. So Bischoff, the guy, as I said, he would have signed Tommy Dreamer. I know he would have, because he signed the Public Enemy. He signed, well, Dean Malenko, Eddie, Chris Benoit. That was a great signing when he signed them. But he signed Public Enemy. He signed the Sandman. Why the hell did he want the Sandman? I like the Sandman. I was a fan of the Sandman. If I saw the Sandman today, I'd go up to the guy and I would want a picture with him. I'd say I was a big fan of yours. Because of his gimmick, his presentation of the Sandman's gimmick is what I was a fan of. The guy is a bad wrestler. I could be a better wrestler than the Sandman, and I've never been trained. But I could train myself, because I watched wrestling so long, I don't think I'd be that bad. Anyways, he signed the Sandman, he signed Public Enemy. He didn't need to sign them at all. They really did nothing for WCW at all. They didn't bring the ratings up. I doubt it, and I doubt it. But Bischoff, the guy, definitely would have signed Tommy Dreamer, because back in 1994 he signed the Honky Tonk Man. And that was stupid. That was pointless as hell. That was really pointless for WCW to sign the Honky Tonk Man. The guy didn't last more than like 2 months. The guy appeared on one pay-per-view ever in WCW history. Honky Tonk Man appeared at Halloween Havoc 94, never appeared again. I'm going on too long now. But number one is Tommy Dreamer, Raven. Quote the Raven, nevermore, the innovator of violence. It was one of the best feuds ever, in my opinion, in pro wrestling. I shouldn't say ever, but in my lifetime of watching, it was one of the best. I'm sure older fans would say Tommy Ridge, or Tommy Ridge, Buzz Sawyer got them into wrestling, and that was one of the best feuds. There are a lot of great feuds. I'll just mention a couple. Dusty Rhodes against the Four Horsemen. That was great stuff. Or Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors against the Horsemen. Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA against the Horsemen. That was great stuff. I'm going to try to go newer feuds. Trying to think of newer feuds that were pretty good. John Cena Edge. That was a good feud. John Cena Randy Orton. They went on too long with that. They overkilled it, and they killed it because they had too many matches together on pay-per-view, and people were sick of it. But, stupid wire. I didn't realize this wire's hanging on the video. Oh well. Anyways, feel like I'm getting sick in the throat. What was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say. This countdown's over. Top 10 feuds in wrestling. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have a top 10 favorite feuds in wrestling, comment under this video and tell me about them. I'd like to hear it. Or tweet me on Twitter, your top 10 favorite feuds in wrestling. Tweet me at WWE NXT Guy. I'd like to hear it. Trying to think of other feuds. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. That was a great feud. Even though they didn't have that many matches really on pay-per-view. I can only count 3. 92, Survivor Series, WrestleMania 12, and Survivor Series 97. But backstage, Bret and Shawn had a better feud going because they really hated each other. And that's a great documentary on WWE Network. Bret, Shawn talking, being interviewed by Jim Ross. It was done over 5 years ago, but it's a great watch. It's pretty damn entertaining. Trying to think of other feuds. I can't think of any others, but CM Punk, John Cena, that was good. Ric Flair, Hogan, I enjoyed their feud. Even though Hogan won every single match, except for Uncensored 99. So this ends this countdown top 10 feuds in wrestling. Hope you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at WWE NXT Guy. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And pretty soon I should probably do a top 10 worst feuds in wrestling that I did not enjoy. One of them would be Millionaires Club in WCW in 2000. Millionaires Club New Blood. That was a stupid feud. And there's been a lot of bad feuds that nobody's cared about. Bye for now, everybody. Enjoy Monday Night Raw.